let me just confirm again that if the government doesn't move its amendment, the other amendments and the main question will be taken. I just think Stephen Flynn, point of order.
Madam Deputy Speaker, may I firstly begin my point of order by just re-emphasising that we are all here tonight to vote on the civilian deaths in Gaza and the appalling situation that has been faced by nationals in Israel too. We all must remember that. Madam Deputy Speaker, if I have listened correctly to what has just been said, on SNP Opposition Day, should the Labour Party's motion be carried, then the SNP's vote will not be held. Secondly, if I have read the clerk's letter to all members correctly, which was sent to the Speaker, this was a consequence that he was warned of. So can you please advise me, where on earth is the Speaker of the House of Commons? How do we bring him to that seat to explain, how do we bring him to this House now to explain to the Scottish National Party why our views and our votes in this House are irrelevant to him?
Well, I thank the honourable gentleman for his point of order. First of all,
Eleanor for Speaker.
Who is that? It really is. It really would be helpful if.
Sorry, she's just here. Just give her
Order. As long as it takes, I will answer the point of order, and then I will take other points of order. But I would suggest that we allow me to speak. Order. As long as it takes, I will answer the point of order, and then I will take other points of order. But I would suggest that we allow me to speak first. Further to the right honourable gentleman's point of order, I have explained that there were going to be, as I understood it, 3 votes tonight. The government has withdrawn from that. The consequence is, as the right honourable gentleman says, that if the Labour Party amendment is passed, it is then added to the SNP motion. So there is not. So he is right. He is right to say. No. Let me finish. He is right to say that there would be, if there was a division, there would be just 1 vote. But if it goes through, then we move on to the next business. Let me first of all take the point of order from the Chair of the Procedure Committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I seek your guidance. My understanding from the advice that I've seen is that the reason that Standing Order 31, where the motion would be put first, was not applying was because there were 2 amendments. If there is now only 1 amendment, surely we would revert to Standing Order 31.
Well, I thank the Chair of the Procedure Committee for her point of order. But if the government amendment is not put, then we revert to the amendment from the Labour Party. That is put. That amendment is put. If it is passed, then the SNP amendment is amended, and there is then the question is put on the SNP amendment. point of order. I'll come back to Stephen Flynn and then I'll come to Mr Ragg.
Madam Deputy Speaker, follow to my earlier remarks and on the back of the remarks which have been made there. I'm afraid that you did not provide clarity to me in relation to, one, where the Speaker of the House of Commons is. Secondly, what mechanisms are available to members to bring him to this House to explain that the SNP Opposition Day has turned into a Labour Opposition Day. And thirdly, and most importantly, I must insist to you, Madam Deputy Speaker, that the SNP motion is voted on first, as the Chair of the Procedure Committee has just outlined.
First, I am going to take the other member of the Procedure Committee, then I will come back to the honourable gentleman's point.
Thank you very much indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker. And upon such a serious debate and topic, and on a personal note for me, having given Mr Speaker a great deal of support in his election to this House, on the basis that we were going to have a fresh start and that conventions that govern our proceedings wouldn't be meddled with to seek one particular political view at any one time, I am hugely disappointed by what has transpired. And we are not showing ourselves as a House anywhere near our best or what we are capable of to the country. I wonder, Madam Deputy Speaker, if you could advise on the nature of the early day motion tabled in my name and a number of my other colleagues, which will appear live at the close of proceedings today. If you are aware as to whether those in receipt of payroll, government payroll, are by convention eligible to sign such an early day motion.
Well, I thank the honourable gentleman for his point of order. I imagine that the SNP Chief Whip wants to add to what has already been said on this.
I thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I have to say I'm slightly confused because I don't want to break any confidences, but I was assured that I would have a vote on the SNP motion today. And as I understand it, and as I understand the advice from the clerks, if the Labour Party motion being put first were to be passed, that amends the text of our motion. And the vote then, given that that amendment removes all of the text of our motion, we would not have a vote on the text of our motion on our opposition day. How can this possibly be allowed to happen?
Let me first of all address the point from the right honourable gentleman, the leader of the SNP. First of all, the Speaker set out very clearly this morning the reasons for his decision to give the widest possible scope for different views to be heard and voted upon. The honourable gentleman, the SNP Chief Whip, knows that we would have been able to vote on all three of the propositions. However, because the government motion has been withdrawn, then that is not possible. So, that is the correct position. We finished voting, we finished the wind-ups at 6:15. There would have been the opportunity for 3 votes. Because the government is no longer participating, I will put the question. I'm finishing this point of order. Point of order on a point of order. I will put the question on the Labour amendment, and he is quite right. If he will sit down, I'm responding to him. I am responding to him, so he needs to sit down. He needs to sit down. So I will put the Labour amendment. He is right. He is right. No, I'm answering his point of order. Sit down. He asked me asked me whether that would amend the SNP motion. Yes, it would, if it is passed, but the SNP do not agree with the wording, they can vote against it. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. That is the situation. That is the situation. I'll come back. Point Philip Davis.
Madam Deputy Speaker, it seems that the Speaker of the House of Commons was put under intolerable pressure. The BBC Newsnight political editor, Nicholas Watt, tweeted that senior Labour figures tell me that the Commons Speaker was left in no doubt that Labour would bring him down after the general election unless he called Labour's Gaza amendment. That was a Labour figure told him that. I don't say a Labour figure. Madam Deputy Speaker, can you assure the House that everything will be done to identify who it was that put that intolerable pressure on the House of Commons Speaker?
Sit down. Point of order, Stephen Flynn.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm afraid that I am going to have to try for a third time. Can you please advise me where the Speaker of the House of Commons is, what mechanisms are available to bring him to this House, and as we wait for a deliberation to be made in that regard, I move that this House, that you use the powers that I trust you have to suspend this House until the Speaker is brought here.
You can't do that.
Sit down. The honourable gentleman asks a point of order, then interrupts his own point of order. If he would just... I will not be suspending the House. We need to put these questions. Mr. Speaker will be in his place tomorrow. Point of order, Dr. Matthew Ufford.
Madam Deputy Speaker, where is the Speaker?
The honourable gentleman is... I'm afraid he'll have to make do with me. I know it's a great disappointment. Mr. Speaker will be here tomorrow in his place. Point of order, Dame Angela Eagle.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Will she confirm that traditionally, many years ago, Opposition Day debates used to be taken seriously by governments, if they were lost, as happened when the Labour Party was in government with the Gurkhas motion, the then government used to put them into effect. But since we've had successive Conservative administrations, they have largely ignored Opposition Day debates. They have refused to take part in many of the votes, and they have widely ignored the result of those votes that they haven't taken part on. So will she agree with me that it comes a bit rich from that lot opposite to be listening to lectures about how important Opposition Day debates are when they routinely ignore them?
Well, I thank the Right Honourable Lady for her point of order. First of all, let me say, unless there are very exceptional circumstances, Opposition Day votes are not binding. I think she knows that. She knows parliamentary procedure. Secondly, she is correct to say that I think it was the previous but one Leader of the House said that if a motion was passed and the government hadn't participated, she would come back with a response within 20 days. I think that is my recollection. I don't believe that is followed currently, but you're right, the Honourable Lady is right, that is what used to happen. But it's absolutely up to the government, as to any member of the House, as to whether they vote or don't vote. It's their decision. Point of order, Brendan O'Hara.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The House and its procedures have descended into absolute chaos. And they've descended into chaos simply because of a decision taken by the Speaker earlier today. Is it too much to ask, Madam Deputy Speaker, that the Speaker is asked to come to this House and explain exactly why he took those decisions, the consequences of those decisions, and how he intends to get this House out of the mess that it currently finds itself in? And what reason, Madam Deputy Speaker, would you not suspend the House in order for the Speaker to come here and sort this mess out?
No, I've said twice already that the Speaker set out this morning in detail why he'd made his decision, and he will be in his place tomorrow. Point of order, Sir Chris Bryant.
Madam Deputy Speaker.
No. You will listen to the points of order. And listen politely. It looks so bad on such an important issue. And no point in shouting me down now. To our constituents, if they just see people who are raising perfectly reasonable points of order, that they're just shouted down. Not good. Not good. Sir Chris Bryant.
There are perfectly legitimate views on different sides as to the propriety of today's proceedings. However, I would just say gently to some honourable members opposite who have said that you cannot possibly have an opposition day motion being amended by another opposition party, that some of the members who are shouting the loudest run this like a CLP meeting. That is unacceptable.
Sir Chris Bryant.
No, it's a CLP. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I would just remind some of those who have been shouting the loudest on the other side of the House that they personally voted on the 13th of May 1999 for a Conservative opposition motion.
I wish to respond to the point of order raised by the Leader. I wish to respond to the point raised by the Leader of the House. Today's debate was exceptional in its intensity with which all parties wished to secure a vote on their own propositions. It took the decisions which were intended to allow the House the widest range of propositions widest range of propositions on which to express a view. I wanted to do the best, and it was my wish. It was my wish to do the best by every member of this House. I I take very seriously. No. The danger is that that's why I wanted everybody to be able to express, because I am very, very concerned about the security of all members. Let me just take this through. I was very concerned, I am still concerned, and that's why the meetings I've had today is about the security of members, their families, and the people that are involved. And I've got to say, I regret how it's ended up. It was not my intention. I wanted all to ensure they could express their views and all sides of the House could vote. As it was, in particular, the SNP were ultimately unable to vote on their proposition. I am, and I regret, with my sadness, that it's ended up on like that, in this position. That was never my intention for it to end up like this. I was absolutely convinced that the decision was done with the right intentions. I recognise the strength of feeling of members on this issue. Clear today has not shown the House at its best. I will reflect on my part in that of the course I recommit myself to ensuring that all members of this House are treated fairly. I do not want it to have ended like this. I want to say to the House, I will meet with all the key players of each party. I think it is right that I meet with each one, and that. Can I just put that correct? I've never met with Sue Gray today. I didn't bump into her today. I'm offended by that comment. I think you'd like to withdraw it. Yeah, because that is the danger that we've ended up with this House in speculation of not what is fact and not factual. I am honest to this House. I am true to this House. I believe in all members of this House. And I have tried to do what I thought was the right thing for all sides of this House. It is regrettable, and I apologise for a decision that didn't end up in the place that I wished for. So I would say no. I will meet with all the. Just be quiet, please. I will meet with the leaders and with the chief whips, and let us have a discussion on what is the best way forward to try and ensure that, and I say again, I thought I was doing the right thing and the best thing, and I regret it and I apologise for how it's ended up. I do take responsibility for my actions, and that's why I want to meet. And that's why I want to meet with the key players who have been involved. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for coming to the House, for saying that you will reflect on what has happened today, for offering your apologies and to meet with members of this House. You're our Speaker, and we wish you to defend the rights of all members of this House. And I thank you for recommitting yourself to those responsibilities today and for coming to the floor of the House.
Just to respond to that is why I tried to do that in the first place. It ended up in the wrong place. And I do say I apologise to all, and in particular to the SNP. And I say it's not where I wanted, it is where I am. I will now leave it at that for the moment, but I do want to meet as soon as possible. Point of order, Steve.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Can I firstly begin by echoing your sentiments in relation to the debate that was had in this chamber in relation to the most important of matters with regards to the safety of civilians in Gaza and indeed those in Israel. There has been a difference of view in the House today, but I think that difference of view has been expressed in a way which we can all agree has been in a positive fashion, in the best fitting way of any democracy, any functioning democracy. Mr. Speaker, whilst I acknowledge your apology, the reality is that you were warned by the clerks of the House that your decision could lead to the SNP not having a vote on our very own Opposition Day. As a result, we have seen the SNP Opposition Day turn into a Labour Party Opposition Day. I'm afraid that that is treating myself and my colleagues in the Scottish National Party with complete and utter contempt. And I will take significant convincing that your position is not now intolerable.
To respond to that, and quite rightly, I understand the feeling. As I said, I would like to have that conversation in private. I would like to meet with you as soon as possible. I'm now going to leave it to continue. Sorry. Point of order. No, come.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I just make a point of order that actually the amendment in the name of the Leader of the Opposition was this evening passed unanimously, and therefore, yes, it was, and therefore.
Order. I don't think now is the time, and what I want to do, I want to move on and I want to meet with the important players. I'm now going to hand over to the Deputy, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Deputy Speaker.